shadows play, where the Reaper horde steps in the fray. Kang's the name, I run this game. Laughs and truth, they're one and the same. Red pills will flow like rivers tonight. Comedy cut sharp while we ignite. Games and beats, the room will shake. You came for the truth, now stay wide awake. Masked with riddles but realer than real, breaking down walls that they try to conceal. Fists in the air, let it all roar. This is the fight you've been waiting for. Red pills will flow like rivers tonight. Comedy cut sharp while we ignite. Games and beats, the room will shake. You came for the truth, now stay wide awake.
That's right, everybody. Stay wide awake. I'm not telling you to get woke. I'm telling you to stay wide awake, everybody. It is M&B, me, Kang Bat, the toe of the House Red Pill. First of my name. Thank you all and welcome in. Thank you all for coming to see me so damn early. Early adopters is Russ and Newt. They are purple drank brothers with purple shields and purple names. They all have been here. Russ, drive safe when you get home. Russ says he wants to show his boobies tonight. Jamie Lee Curtis level boobies. She does have the nicest tits. Yes, indeed she does. Yes, indeed she does. Nice old titties. Yes, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's not a joke. It's not an episode of Seinfeld. Jamie Lee Curtis's tits definitely does not belong on Seinfeld. I will say hello. But I am Lord of the Horde. I'm going to be compelled to talk about something that just happened because I'm currently simmering in purple drink, as you can see here in my wonderful background. I really like this. I like this cool filter that I've made. This isn't one. This is several effects I've put on the camera. I like it. Allows me to do low level. I want to show my axes in the background. Got my fan going on back there. I like it. I like me being in black and white and a colorized background. That's just fucking cool. It's cool. It's also nice on the eye, too. So, something happened, and I want to address it. And it's a little blast from the past, but, you know, I was compelled. Like, I like to watch my friends on Rumble. I watch Rumble streams. I don't watch YouTube streams. I watch Rumble streams. And my buddy Adam Krigler, y'all have seen Adam. You've seen Adam in the chat from, you know, time to time. It's like a once a year kind of occurrence kind of thing. And I hang out in his chat and I say, "What's up, Kriggs? Lord Krigler?" He's like, "What's up, Kang?" You know, we've done a little bit of the, you know, Diablo together. Diablo 4 back in the day when Diablo 4 was cool. What's cool? And it's not cool anymore. Diablo 2 Resurrected is cool. Adam Krigler, good dude. I cannot explain this, but I was compelled. I have no idea why. I was compelled. I was just nudged. Hey, go watch him on YouTube. I'm like, why? I'm watching him on Rumble. Why watch him on YouTube? What's the purpose of watching him on YouTube? I'm already watching him on Rumble. In the chat, hey, you doing? I know. Meet and greet, saying hi. So I went. And I'm chilling out over there. And a familiar screen name pops up. It was bizarre. We got Mama Hood in the hizzy, everybody. Mama Hood, good to see you. You'll find this interesting, Mama Hood. And you know, an old adversarial screen name popped up. You know, part of the you know, the We Hate Kang crew, the Kang Derangement Syndrome crew. And she was chilling out in the chat, and I, you know, ignored her. She seemingly ignored me. But I said, "Hey, I'd like you to come hang out on my stream." And she was like, "Oh, ignore Red Pill. I don't like his personality." And then she bashed her former boyfriend, apparently. And I was like, "Oh, damn." So we had a little bit of a back and forth, friendly. I said, "Hey, I've heard about what he did to you. I'm sorry. You know, men shouldn't beat women. It's a bad thing. Even though we've had differences in the past, no man should treat a woman that way. I'm really sorry. And she was like, thank you for that. And she says, hey, I hope to see you around here again. So I was like, wow, that's cool. People can set aside your petty little differences and meet when you know the morality and the rubber have met the road. Okay? You don't gotta like somebody to still express love. You don't gotta like someone to still express love to them. And that was very nice. It was very nice. And yes, Russ, it hit me the moment when I was like, hey, you take care. I pray things will get better. She goes, thank you, RPFC. You too. And I'll see you around here. Now, I don't preach to you guys. Yeah, because decency wins. You're right, Mama. I always try to put decency first. It's my first go-to. It's my default setting. I like to give you Mr. Miyagi. If you don't go there and you keep on coming at me, I'll Miyagi you a whole lot. And then after that, Pai Mei, I got your eye. Pai Mei, bitch. But at the same time, I can still go back to Miyagi even after plucking out your eye. I'd rather give you Miyagi, soft touch. I'd rather you give that. That's my default setting, and I think that that's what everyone should be. Because I think that you're right, Mama Bear. Decency wins. And you're right, Russ, divine intervention. That was God. Hey, Kang, go to YouTube. Go now. Not a clue that this person would be there. And I'm very, very happy to have walked away with that exchange, feeling we both had the better of it. That we both were able to say, you know what? We may not see eye to eye, but we obviously understand that, and we can be decent to each other. So God bless her. I hope things go well for her. So, Mr. Miyagi tonight. Gotta say, I like being Mr. Miyagi so much more than Pai Mei. Pai Mei may seem like a lot of fun. Miyagi is a hell of a lot better. That's the best place to be, everybody. So let's go ahead and pull up the chats and all that shiz and shat. Thank you for with that little Kang moment there for you guys. What is going on, everybody? We got Mama Bear. Mama Bear is my cousin. That is not bullshit. She is my cuz. We got Russ in the house with Newt as well. But yes, I'm very happy to see you guys. We're going to have a guest possibly later on. He's currently working overtime. I don't know if he's maybe he's too busy.
Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
I don't know if he's on his third or fourth egg roll. Who knows? He's at work. He's at work. Not eating a meal. But if he does show up, he'll DM me and I'll bring him in. He'll be like,
surprise, motherfucker.
I'll be like, hey, what's up? What's up? So yeah, we'll get all that done when he comes in. So until then, I'm going to do a bit of a scroll show. But tonight, I'm going to open the mic up as well. It is Taco Tuesday. You can call in on Discord. If you're on Discord and you want to talk, just send me a DM on Discord. I will call you and I'll bring you in. If you want to come in, let's Taco Tuesday. The open Discord mic. So if you're on my Discord, and we'll drop a link right there. Newt, if you can, please drop a hot link, a fresh brownie, fresh cookie of linkage from Discord, and we can bring you in and we'll talk to you. Bring you in and I'll happily give you the tick talk. Yes, indeed. Indeed. We'll bring you in. So you let me know via DM over on Discord. Pop up and say, bloop, let's talk. I don't care who you is, what you want to talk about, whatever it may be, shit and she. But open mic night tonight and get it done. Until then, we're going to do some scrolls. Yeah, I can't talk. That's too dark. That's real dark. Got to talk about something else. That's too damn dark. There's so much dark shit going out there. I gotta say, I don't even feel like even looking at X. I think X is too damn dark tonight. I think it's too dark. I don't want to do dark crap. I don't want to do that. I'm going to do... Let's do some Tony Baker voiceovers. We'll do some Tony Baker voiceovers. Yeah. Yeah, we got to skip over that. So here we go. Here we go. You never saw me. You never saw me. We got, yeah, that was a wood chipper story. I can't do wood chipper stories tonight, man. I'm sorry. I had another experience with God. I'm sorry. God led me to a good place. I can't go to a dark place tonight. We're not going there. I don't feel the vibe. I have that X up just because I ain't gonna go there. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry. Devil, get behind me. No, not tonight. Not tonight. I know the works of the devil. I've seen him. I smelled it. It's stanky. But we gotta have some fun shit. So we're gonna start this video over here. That's so good. That dog be like, Gary, get after it, man. We gotta attack today. Let's get up. Boop. The cat is laying there. I'm trying to sleep. Damn, Rudy. Damn, Rudy. Oh, we got two turtles doing turtle sex. Here we go. You never saw me. That was Leonardo and Raphael and Splitter. Every step I'm gonna take gonna be on that ass. Like a Tony Baker, man. We gotta have some fun, y'all. Look, my evening shows, like I said, I'm shifting gears. You know, I've shifted gears. I got my Monday and my Friday shows. Those are your bookend shows. That's all news all the time. You know, 9 a.m. right after Aaron Prager. My second head Aaron. I'm Aaron. He's Aaron. We're both Aarons. We're the two-headed Aaron. You'll see that on Mondays and Fridays. But on my Tuesdays and Thursdays, baby, we gotta cut loose. So can I go through that doom cycle again? You want to go through it another fucking look at me? I'm gonna talk about the news show. No, fuck that. Everyone else has done it all damn day long. You're tired. You're exhausted. You want to come here. You got a release valve. Want to laugh? Come here and laugh. Tuesdays is Talko Tuesdays. It's all about laughing, and talking fun shit. It's non-topical. It's non-topical. The line is open. So, boom. Oh, yeah, we got to get that audio in, don't we? So hold on. Let me get that fixed. It happens on occasion. It does happen. Let me get the audio. Let me get that audio. Hold on. I'll put my own in there. Here we go. All right, where is that? Tony Baker voiceovers. Here we go.
Barry, man, let's get after it. Let's attack the day.
Boom. Then Chrome browser. Gonna go over to Tony Baker. Here we go. Thank you for letting me know, Russ. I appreciate that.
Hey, head on, man. What do you say? Boop. We in on these
Boop. Boop. I love that. I gotta watch that again.
Barry, man, let's get after it. Let's attack
that cat
the
is trying to chill.
Head on, man. What do you say? Boop. We in on
Boop. Oh my God, man. Newt can't do it. I know Newt can't do everything, but then we got the bird here.
I'm in a 12-step program, man. Step 1, step again. Step 2, repeat step 1, man. I'm stepping into the AM, man. And here comes the hot stepper, man. Every little step I take is going to be on that ass. That's why you kids flew up. You know what, Edwin? I've had it with your little fat mouth. That's on bird. Come here, man. I'm sick of it. Oh.
No. Oh, wait, I did my own.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're going to see that again.
Fat mouth. That's on bird. Come here, man. I'm sick of it. Oh.
And then the ostrich falls in the water.
Good. The bites. You can grab me and hold him. Yeah, you quiet now, huh, Daffy? Whatever the hell your name is. Hush. Let me get around here, get a better vantage point on you, Plucky, whatever your name is. You quiet now, huh? You quiet now, Launchpad McQuack? Nothing to say.
Launchpad McQuack.
Yeah.
He called him Launchpad McQuack. What? Launchpad McQuack? And that ostrich, he gonna kick your ass. He be here on that 12-step program. Step number 1, kick. Step number 2, kick twice. Oh my God.
Yeah, you grab him and hold him. I know you fake.
Grab him and hold him.
You see, I'm the only one that can play with this rope and look brolic while doing it. Get your soft body the hell up out of here, man. I said what I said. You heard me? Back up. Me. You see, I'm the one that told your ass to stay off these ropes. Oh, you more formidable than I thought. See, I'm the one that's gonna be the bigger man and
you more formidable than I thought. Yeah, how many minutes it take to fight one gorilla? I think 1. I think just one. This gorilla, damn, he's like, I'm gonna touch you and run away, man. Touch you and run away. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckborough.
Treat, and I'm gonna just stand here and reflect and plot my revenge. Me. My name is.
Stand here and reflect and plot my revenge.
Gerald, and I'm the one y'all sitting here looking at.
Oh, you talking slick? Well, then what you gonna do then, player? Huh? Lord Jesus.
Oh my God. It's just what? This is too much. It's too much. I gotta see that again.
Just stand here and reflect and plot my revenge. Me. My name is Gerald, and I'm the one y'all sitting here looking at.
Oh, you talking slick? Well, then what you gonna do then, player? Huh? Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus. The thing just falls right off the counter. Oh, do you ever have those kind of days? Those days you just, you slide and glide and slippity slide right down to the bottom. You're just laying there on your back looking at the sky. Shoes done flied off. Spilled your coffee all over yourself. Ego is bruised. You're just reflecting on every piece of your life.
They call me Jangles Montgomery. I step up in the venue, balls
my
first.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might trip on my balls and fall into the venue.
Oh my God.
Man, as you can see, a cat's balance. Hey, no, put your nose on me when I'm walking through with balance and grace. You know better than that.
So we slapping people, huh? Okay.
Cram. Don't put your nose up on me. I'll be balancing this shit. Oh yeah, you be smacking people in the nose. How about this? Cram. They call him Henry Cramilton. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh man, bust a move then, Bartholomew.
Bust
you
a
see these
move.
horns in your face, player? Back the hell up off me, Talko. You said your piece. Bust a move then.
Oh, sit down somewhere, man.
Ain't no games out here. You talking, but talk is cheap. Talk is on the 99-cent menu, playboy.
No, oh, you back?
Cram.
You back again? What was that you said?
Oh, shit.
Okay, all right.
Cram.
You gonna give yourself a stroke at the
Cram.
You gonna give yourself a stroke.
Cram, Barnabas.
Cram.
You just gonna keep taking the crams. Huh? Okay, I can do this all night. Oh, your body here, shouty.
You can take the cram. I can do this up all night. Cram. And then they got a sheep stuck down in a damn pit. That sheep complaining too.
Get your boy up out of here, man. Pull me up out of here, shouty, man. I give you everything, man. Hey, man, get your hands off me, man. I never needed a human for nothing. Oh.
Right back in the bitch. He got pulled the fuck out. He run. I don't need you. Skip that diddly. Cram. He's like, Patrick, and stuck up in that damn. Oh my God.
Hey, this is a humbling experience, shouty, man. I apologize for what I said. Get your boy
I apologize for what I said.
up out of here, shouty.
Oh, this is so good, man. Y'all
No,
be doing this?
Trash panda and cats.
Oh, you just grab some. You grab a handful. You dip it in the water. You see, get in on this, man. Come on, man. Try a little bit. You taste it. Okay. All right. Y'all a little uptight, you know. But that's what these cookouts are for. You feel me? But listen, I gotta get on out of here, guys. Oh, thank you. I gotta get on out of here, man. But you know what, man? You know, I'm gonna be in this traffic on the way back home, man. I don't want to get hungry on the freeway. Let me just grab something to go and then tip on out. Y'all be good. Praise God, man.
Praise God, everybody. Let me just tip on out. Praise God, everybody. I'm gonna be stuck in traffic and shit on the way home. Let me take a little handful to go plate. You ever had that one cousin that shows up at the barbecue and they take 3 to-go plates and they try to talk some trash like I got 3 kids. You know, you're like, hey, look at Rudy, you ain't got no kids. He'd be like, well, my sister got kids and they're at the house right now playing Xbox and I'm gonna make sure I feed these kids. If they didn't come, look, if Trisha didn't bring them, Trisha don't get no to-go plate. You brought your ass, you get 1 to-go plate for you. And then he kind of side eyes you, brings the other plates back, dumps the other 2 plates on top of the 1 plate, wraps that up in foil, and says, "Now I got 1 to-go plate," and that shit like the size of like a triple decker sandwich. Like, get the fuck out of here, fucking Rudy.
The rock stars of the zoo. When me and my crew climbed the tree, everybody took notice. The world stopped. We were making bananas hand over fist. We were gangsters and we knew it. Nobody could touch us.
And that's why I ain't got no regret. Give me 0.3 milligrams of epinephrine stat.
Wait a minute, how do you even know he needs the epinephrine? We don't know what's going on.
You right about that. You right about that. I got caught up in the moment, man. I've been watching too much TV. I got caught up in the moment.
All right, sir. Are you with us, sir? Are you with us, sir? We're going to get you the help you need.
Tell my family I love them. What the hell? You're supposed to tell my family I love them, man. I'm dying out here. And that's why I ain't got no...
You're like, I ain't got no regrets. Man, get the epinephrine ready for man. But we don't know what he need. Y'all know. I know I've been watching too much damn movie. Too much movie, man. And then they leave the punk-ass monkey sitting on the side of the road with his regrets, just reflecting on every piece of his life. Oh, my God. I got a parrot here. We got a parrot. What's this parrot doing?
No regrets.
Playing dead.
Yo, Monty, man, that's a whole meal over here, dog. I'm gonna play dead. Hey, yo, Monty, he thinks I'm dead. Look at his face. He's buying it. I got no regrets. Tell my family, I did it all for them. And that's why I ain't get... Hey, come over here, let me tell you something. But I've been in these raccoon streets for a long time. Sleeping in storm drains, digging in dumpsters, running up on possums, taking their snacks, running up on cats, taking their cat food and dipping it in the water, trying to show them what time it is. I done raised Coco and them to be the best raccoons they can be, man. And you tell them I love them and to quit sleeping in dumpsters. They better than that. I ain't got no regrets. Y'all be good. Praise God, man.
Praise God. Oh, just too good.
I'm looking at you. What you about to do?
Well, I was going to demonstrate the skibbity pass.
Oh, what's that?
Skibbity pass. Stop staring at me. What's going on?
I was going to demonstrate the skibbity paps. You know, skibbity paps is life. Skibbity paps is part of life. Skibbity paps, you got to take them. Sometimes you get the skibbity pap. Sometimes you the skibbity papa. Sometimes you the skibbity pap sometimes you the skibbity pap I'm not really sure. That's all I know. Hey, look, he got too drunk, laying on the side of the road, trash panda birthday. He got no regrets. He thinking about Rudy and Rufus and Barbarous, and Tiante. He be thinking about all of them. Still back at the party. All of them leaving with 3 to-go plates instead of 1. 3 instead of 1. All talking about, I got these kids and home to feed. Man, why'd you bring your kids to the damn party instead? Let them eat up on this. No, my kids, they act all bad. They like babies kids.
On here. Y'all ain't just gonna be walking through here like y'all, who is this coming through?
The fuck
Get
out
double
here.
skibbity paps, man.
Double
One for each
skibbity
ball since you a man. Y'all better start getting clearance out here before you just walk in, because you can get you get the double up on the skibbity paps, man. I got skibbity paps all day, man. Y'all, you bet. Oh, get off me, man. Get your filthy nail clipping hands off me, man. Pedicures is for pussy cats. And the butcher knife of paralysis that was forged by Odin himself.
The butcher knife of paralysis that was forged by Odin himself. And yeah, it's Bebe's kids, man. I just summoned Bebe's kids. That's from the past. They've been walking around, Disney World. Small world, holding their little thing. Yeah, that's true. It's true. He was all part of that thing. Well, those Ben Bebe's kids. Bad little kids. peeing off the damn thing in the water on the Pirates of the Caribbean. Bebe's kids. That's right. That's who they be. Yeah, that's right. It's Bebe's kids. It's so true. Ceiling bird. Oh my God. What the fuck here? Look. This guy, he's paralyzed from it's the butcher knife of paralysis. Let's let him go through his ventures.
Oh, you a real piece of work. When I get out of here, you're finished.
Ew, how can you eat that, Rondell?
Shut it up, Talbert. You always got something negative to say. People out here enjoying their life, doing what they love. Me loving yogurt ain't got nothing to do with your life.
What you either doing? Cooking that table for the whole family, huh? Yeah, how you feel about that?
See that right there. This cat is the consequences. When people act a fool and they do bad shit, and they think they got away with it, he walks up like this. Booyah! This is the cat biting ass crack of consequences, and the cat teeths of consequences. It comes with, some flavor. Happen to be ass flavor this time. Just saying. Fucking my God. This poor guy. I feel bad for him. This cat's like, I will eat your ass. There's no way. There's no way. That's so true. It's like, you ain't feel nothing yet.
Seen nothing yet until you see the flaming butthole. Your butthole will be flaming, and you will not be able to sit down.
Feel about that hookup?
What's up then? Well, what's up? No, don't try to break this up, Roomba. No. What? Man, I don't want no trouble,
I'll
man.
knock your head off your shoulders and bury it in my litter box.
Look, y'all need to just stop. Monroe, go over there and cool off. Midnight, give me a kiss. Midnight. What?
Ooh, Nadine, if you wasn't here, I swear I'd be slinging Monroe all across these people's feet out here, man.
Hey, grab me.
I'd be slinging. I'd be slinging Monroe all over people's feet out here. Bet. 100% bet. Jasmine Crockett was a Bebe's kid. I guarantee she was one of them Bebe's kids. She was definitely one of them baby kids that was on the Pirate of the Caribbean peeing off the damn boat. That was her. Standing there going, baby kids. I guarantee that. My God. So Jasmine Crockett, she wants to pretend like she knows,
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
She wants you to believe that. But she's a Becky. Shut up. I look at her and I'm like,
come on, man.
Shut up. Why you fake ghetto? You are not ghetto. You are not really ghetto. I look at her and I say to myself,
Do you love black people?
because she don't. No, she was all Becky, talking all Becky and shit. And then she got in office, all of a sudden she had to affect the ethnicity. I was like, why? Oh, that's right, because she wants that power. She's a racist little shithead, that's why.
Grab him and hold him. I'm gonna hold him and grab him.
Hold him and
I'm gonna grab him and hold him as
Grab
well.
him and hold him.
Fast, man. But grab him and hold him and grab him and hold him. Hold him.
We gonna creep up and then we gonna grab him and hold him.
You sure about this? Cats could be pretty vicious, man.
But we got armor on, man. Just come and help me grab him and hold him.
How about we hold him and grab him?
It's the same thing I've been saying. Oh, now we can't go.
Now, fellas, let me grab him and hold him, grab him and hold him, grab him and hold him. Hold him.
I've been a living hat for about 5 years now.
What the hell is going on? You got some trash for me? You ain't got no trash for me, man. Don't be knocking on my door.
Got some
Now, let me
trash
show you
for
how to make a bed hotel style. Now, I've been doing this for years now. Trust me on this. And I absorb both of your little weak paws. I should snatch your paw pads off and sell them to the highest bidder. I got your pillowcase looking ass leaning back like Fat Joe out here. Now, either you can get out yourself, or I can take you out in pieces. The choice is yours.
Well, I choose to stay.
And I'm sick of your entitled mouth. I'm sick of what's all the...
I choose to stay. Get out that box. Dog, come over, breaking this shit up.
Come over here, man. Terry in here with his little lavish sleep. Look at him.
Uh-oh, that looks like Hitler the cat to me. I think that big kitty ought to get, look at this white cat with his little black brushed over hairstyle with his little Hitler mustache. It is Hitler the cat about to get got by Father Christmas.
Dreaming about unlimited catnip and toilet tissue rolls. Man, get your fuck back. Now, Roland, if you make one false move, I'm slapping the cat litter kernels out your butt crack. Don't even move, man. I told you don't even move, playboy.
Oh, fuck.
My favorite.
Hey, man, you just smell my cakes. It's skibbity paps, my boy.
Skibbity paps.
Skibbity paps. Don't nobody get more skibbity paps than me. You understand that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll ask him now. Hey, Sammy. Sammy. Hey, Sammy, man. Let me
Damn, Rudy.
Damn, Rudy. But it's a skibbity paps. It's a skibbity paps that lays down the law. I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, along comes some skibbity paps. 4 foot tall. Skibbity paps. Get the fuck out of here. Look at this dog's face. This dog, he's like triggered.
That's all you really feel out here, Rudy. It's skibbity pat, man.
You tell my family I ain't got no regrets.
When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I ain't got no regrets. I'll fly away.
That's fucking funny. We got more. Give me more.
Oh, yeah. Here y'all go again, man. Yeah. Y'all be jamming, man. These humans be jamming. Paul, you not feeling this? How can you not feel this, baby? Man, you swim, and now you can dance, man. How can you deny them drums, Paul? Paul, get in on this. Man. Okay. Appreciate these little snacks you provide.
Snacks.
Nah, come on. Nah, bro.
Not broccoli.
Nah, bro.
don't eat
Get
broccoli.
that out of here, man. I ain't with the beneficial nutrients out here.
Potato
You got
chips.
tricks up your sleeve?
That
See,
cheese?
now we cooking with grease, man. You try to pull up with the... Nah,
Carrot?
bro.
No.
Nah, bro. Get that health out of here. Oh, I get to choose? You know I'm going right
What
here.
this
The
is?
assorted meats, the feast. Let's begin. Let's... Oh, that's what we doing out here. As we look at the tape, man, they did your boy dirty, man. They had that fake meat set up. I was ready to dig in. I had the bib on. You know what? It's just a rain party going on, man. I hope y'all houses...
They're gonna look at that dog's face. It's just like, I'm gonna get you when you sleep in the night. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna give you some. He got some of that. You know,
Emotional damage.
and he like, you know what? You know, tonight when we sleep, and you think I'm asleep, you know, you be laying there and shit, you know, like, and then let
A few moments later.
Surprise, motherfucker.
yeah, you gonna surprise motherfucker you indeed. Here we go.
Get burglarized. I ain't barking for no danger. All right? I hope y'all get ransacked. Anna's getting the vittles. Anna's getting the vittles. Hey, mix it around up in there and get the vittles going, huh? Yeah, now bring it to your boy. Hannah.
Two pieces of kibble.
What the is this? You gonna bring me these two measly morsels? God, fuck you up.
Buford.
Oh my god. What?
What is this?
No, I can't watch
You
it
gonna
again.
bring me these two measly morsels? God, fuck you up.
Buford, you listening? Now get this.
Where am I? Oh, hi. It's the mailman.
looked down and saw those two bits of kibble and just thought to himself, you know what? I will eat your ass. Oh, man. And now this dog lay there having nightmares about the mailman and shit. You lay there having nightmares.
It's Buford.
You Buford.
Buford, you listening?
You
now
listening?
get this.
You like,
Where am I? Oh, hi.
It's the mailman. I hate the mailman. Standing in my dog food bowl with his packages and his parcels. I got something for him. Oh, how long you gonna be going? I'm scared. It's the mailman. It's the mailman.
Documents were in place. Buford, you listening? Now get this. That's when the subcommittee had to reallocate the funds, and then...
Oh, Lord, that's Michael Myers. That's Michael Myers, man. Let's get the hell out of here, man. Oh, Lord. I didn't know he chased people. I didn't know he ran, man. Man, get off. Man, get off, man. I'm jumping through this window. I have to kill him.
oh, I know the dog is okay. But damn, I mean, he jumped out the window in his dream. He's like, oh my God, it's just too fucking funny. Oh my God, it's just too funny. Oh, no. This dog right here. This is what he was dreaming about.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Okay, you got two more.
Snowstorm, you good, bro?
Hell yeah, I'm good, bro. Trying to practice my Homer Simpson fade into the shrubbery visual, man, but this bush.
Homer Simpson fade into
Get
the
the visual,
shrubbery.
man.
The humans love me more, Eddie.
Well, if that's the case, then just let me be.
Just face facts. Just face facts.
Not anymore.
Skip that diddly skedaddle, yo.
Oh, hell no, man. We gotta get the hell up out of here, man. They sending the pound over here, man. They gonna take us all to the pound, man. They gonna put us to sleep. You never know what's gonna happen, man. Pack up all your stuff, man. What you doing just standing there, man? That's the thing. Go with that little sitting around here in Kansas waiting for you with tornadoes and rainbows. Talking about somewhere over the rainbow. I like my own rainbows. Dorothy, my ankles, Dorothy. My ankles, Dorothy.
Yo, is that a smile, though? Because you look angry. Yes, it's a smile. And it's genuine, too.
Smile.
That's a genuine smile,
bro. Your smile gotta be crisp if it's gonna be a selfie.
Look, man, not everybody has the Colgate brochure smile out here, man. This is the best I can do, man.
Wait, what is that noise you're making? Is that your smile noise?
Ooh, thanks for setting this up, Nathaniel. I always wanted to ride my trusty steed. Sha-sha.
We ride at dawn.
Sha-sha-sha. Hey, make the gallop noise for me.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, good to see you, Fringe. Yeah, good to see you, Fringe. I got my guest. He'll be coming in here in a little bit. I got Wood Geek coming in. Y'all might remember him from my my old BPL days. He's coming in, gonna come chill out with us and shit and she. Well, but until he lets me know we're ready, and then I'll just give him a buzz. So right here, so, and then I'll get right back to you guys.
What you trying to do here? What you mean what I'm trying to do? What you trying to do is the real question. I'm trying to do whatever you trying to do. If you trying to do something, well then schedule your appointment then. I'll schedule my appointment when you make it clear what you trying to do. But I already told you I'm trying to do whatever you trying to do.
Well, what I'm trying to do is contingent upon what you trying to do. You feel me?
No. Well, since you laying down, it look like you ain't trying to do nothing.
I'm always trying to do something though, but the real question is, the eternal question is, what you trying to do?
That depends on what you trying to do.
Your breath smell like cheese and failure.
Hey, there's a cat over here, y'all. Yo, grabbing me, ho. He ain't so tough with the skibbity pass. This is crazy to me. It's a cat over here. Hey, I'm not a fan of cats, man. When we gonna actually grab him and help? All right, fellas, let's come in as a unified front, like a wall of dogs that we can't get. Oh, the haberdasheries and hemoglobin. He's more formidable than I've ever could have imagined. You can say that again. How long you been Britain? You know, watch him, guys. He's on the move. Oh, he's got the high ground.
I fed you. No, you didn't feed me.
All right, you guys, I'll be back in just a few minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and get Wood Geek queued up for you guys. Enjoy some more of this Cramiltons and haberdasheries and hemoglobins. Enjoy right here.
Harold, man, let me show you something. Let me show you something right here. Does that look like you fed me?
Hey, you know how they always say dogs are more loyal than cats? Well, not this dog. Feel every piece of this betrayal.
give me no attitude. I'll do whatever I want to. You can't just be coming in here any time of the night and think you're just gonna get away with it. I ain't the one. Say, man, Katrina will never be tripping like that. Katrina? How dare you? I said she don't never be tripping like that, man. I'm sick of you, man. I'm a man. How dare you, Dad? How dare you bring that name up? You say you would walk up in here and see me walking across their lavish countertops while they'll share the food. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, hey, how was the movie?
Is there a wild animal in our house?
You damn right it is.
Who did this?
Right here, Playboy.
Did you do this?
Every
You need to stop.
Well, P. Diddy said it best. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yes.
Those shoes just be out here looking tasty, and I can't wear shoes, so I might as well chew on yours. I don't see the reason why not.
All right, everybody. I got Woodgeek coming in, and he's the guest for tonight, Taco Tuesday. So we're going to go and switch on over to that and get that right on over. So we're going to put the Discord sound in. Woodgeek. Then the guest video.
It wasn't me. He wasn't me. He wasn't me. He wasn't me.
All right, everybody. We got Woodgeek in the hizzy. Go ahead and say hello, Woodgeek.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, what is up?
Got a sound check, 5x5, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you seem that you do sound. It does seem to be 5x5. Everyone in the chat, give me a 5x5, a 5x5. So we were enjoying some Tony Baker videos tonight. Tony Baker, one of my favorite comedians and voiceover guys over on YouTube. He does some of the best stuff ever. Moever. Yeah. I don't got the camera set up for that other particular scene that I'm working with right now. I don't got that, so we're going to be featuretting you. So tell everyone about who you are, what you do, and where they can follow you at, and all of that shit and she.
Well, for anybody that hasn't seen me before, I'm Wood Geek. I do some woodworking videos here on Rumble and on Pilled. Grew up small town Indiana, left home, joined the Army, and did 20 years in the Army. After I retired from there, I went to college. When I was finally done with college, I started woodworking again. I grew up, my dad was a German cabinet maker, so it's kind of in the blood, but, you know, having to start over as a grown-ass adult, you know, it's a little daunting. You know, there's a lot of things like, you know, growing up, I knew what right looked like. I just had to remember how to get there.
Right.
You know, and started, you know, selling some of my stuff at craft shows and this and that. And the past few years, I keep having people, you know, ask me, well, hey, are you on YouTube? Or, you know, I like what you do. I'd like to watch you do, you know, do what you do. You should make videos. And then finally, somebody convinced me to just start live streaming on Pilled. And one thing led to another, and did Pilled for a while and had to take a break. You know, life was getting in the way, and you know, family and life always takes priority over, you know, putting videos out.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And then when I came back, started doing Rumble as well, and here I am. It still floors me when somebody, you know, like yourself or other people wants to feature me on their show. I'm like, why? I'm just a dude.
Well, you're just a dude that I happen to like. So, I mean, when I did the panel shows, you know, when me and you were on panel shows together, you always seemed to actually have something to contribute, and you had a real perspective. You know, it's more than just nodding in agreement with whatever host that you happen to be with. It was, no, you actually would say, no, that isn't right. Let me push back on that. And I would do the same.
Right.
I felt we always had a really good chemistry with that, because I believe that when you're on, you know, you're doing like a panel of any kind, it shouldn't be a host and a bunch of people nodding in agreement. I think it should be a host and a difference of opinion. And let's get a little bit of, some sparks can fly here and there, and it's necessary. Well, we got, of course, everybody got Canadon chilling out in the chat. Good to see you, Canadon. With Russ. Russ just gifted a gift sub to us. So I guess I got to get that ticker up now, don't I? Yes, we do. Canadon just got that gifted sub. But so you do woodworking, but how long were you in the military before you get to the woodworking? Because that's more of a recent thing. Is
20
that right?
years.
20 years.
Yep, did a full 20. My knees told me it was time to find a different line of work. The whole time coming up through the ranks, I was looking at these busted up senior NCOs, the sergeant's first class, first sergeant, sergeant major, that they were too busted up to lead from the front. And one day I looked in the mirror and I'm like, son of a biscuit, you're that guy now.
Right.
So I think a week later I put my retirement paperwork in and that was it.
That was the end of that, huh? So is woodworking now for you something to fill the time, or is something that you do as your mainstay, or?
I know I do IT work for a living. I call woodworking. I call sawdust therapy.
Dig it.
What I do is a real high stress environment, and it's good to like today. It was 11 hours straight in front of a screen. The last 7 of them on the same troubleshooting call. My brain's cooked. That's the time I go down in the shop and make some sawdust and just forget about all that crap.
Right. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Yeah, I got a friend of mine. His motorcycles are his thing. He says wind therapy. So.
Yeah, there was one time I'd been in a server room for I don't know 10 hours, and I walked out, threw my laptop in my briefcase, and told my manager, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and do some man's work. And he got his nose out of joint. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go do some man's work. This is great, but I'll go make some sawdust and make my knuckles bleed. Do some of that.
Right.
So not everybody gets it, but you got, and to me, it's all about keeping that perspective. If I'm going to put everything into my work, then I got to have something outside of work to to balance that out.
Recharge the batteries. Yeah, for me, it's music. I do music. It's my thing. I recharge with music, going out and spending time with music friends, and they become like another family of sorts. They're good people. Of course, most musicians have got a whole world of problems, and they get up on stage and they kind of like help purge. They purge themselves of that. And when I'm on stage with somebody, I don't care about all the differences I may have with that person, maybe politically or spiritually or whatever. All that falls away. The only thing that matters,
right.
The only thing that matters, honestly, is just that we're there at that moment, and we are doing something that God granted us. And I believe music is divine. I believe it's something that He created for us to worship with and express that with, and to honor His glory. And it allows us to do something, because I believe in God makes a lot of frequencies. There's frequencies in nature, and God created everything. So all the frequencies that are there are there for us to appreciate and understand that. So there's nothing like being on stage. Nothing like, and it doesn't even matter. They can have nobody watching. I don't care. We're on stage. We're playing music together. It could be just us sitting around a living room playing, and the feeling is just amazing. The camaraderie is amazing. So I understand what you need. Recharge those batteries. So how long have you been doing woodworking?
I mean, I grew up, my dad was a cabinet maker, so I was introduced, very early. But I was always, sweeping the shop floor, doing gopher work for Dad. So I picked it up in earnest probably, call it 15 years ago.
Right.
Started, getting back into it. And, each little project tried to, oh, thank you, Russ. Just try to outdo myself, do a little personal one-upmanship and, keep doing bigger and better things.
Thank you, Russ. I'll go ahead and update the goal meters. We got that scrolling goal meter. We are now rocketing towards that. We're rocking towards 4 digits on that goal. So Russ got us to 911 of a 1,000 goal. What happens when we hit 1,000? We go to 1,100. That's what we do. I do appreciate that.
You go.
That's all that love and support right there for you guys. I mean, there's for you guys to see how far you've come, what you've done over the past few months. It's been great. and I appreciate you guys doing that. Your generosity of time. I appreciate I appreciate the dollars that you guys drop. I appreciate the gift subs you drop. But the number one thing that I have to make sure I thank you for the most is the time you have spent here in the chat. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here. You can make another dollar. You can never make another second, another tick of the clock. Never. So one thing they ain't making more of is time. So I appreciate you spending that most precious resource. So, you know, you've been pretty outspoken as well. You know, as I said, y'all have seen me and him on panel shows together, and you'll see that he has an opinion. And I have to honestly say, usually, I can't remember a time I disagreed with you, but I could definitely know there are times when I've disagreed in general. But you've spoken out, and you're very outspoken on your opinions. What got you to take the chance to turn the camera on, turn on the microphone, and start telling people how you felt about stuff? Like, what motivated you to do that?
Honestly, it was being invited onto the panel show. Normally, like my woodworking channel, I try to keep politics out of it because I really, not that I was afraid to express an opinion. It's, you know, I wanted that to be a break away from, you know, all the madness. Give people a place to, you know, come watch, you know, another patriot do some stuff, but, you know, not have to be inundated, you know, 24/7 with the clown world.
Yeah.
But then I, you know, invited, you know, to, you know, because I've been in chats, you know, with everybody, so there was a lot of people that knew me as an audience member. But yeah, it was a big leap to come on and participate, and it was. I figured if I'm being brought in to give my perspective, then, you know, even if my perspective slightly differs from, you know, either host or another co-host, then, you know, there's a way to disagree with people without, you know, being a dick.
Of course, absolutely.
Pardon the French,
but no, it's all good, dude. And that's exactly what it should be. It should be about, for me, it's all about the diversity of thought, and that's one thing we complain about the left all the time.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that I am very adamant about. And
yeah, we all, you know, we're all pulling from different. We've all had a different path, so, you know, that shapes what right looks like to us, you know, and we could be thinking the same thing, just going about it different ways.
Sure.
A lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's one of the things that there's a whole lot of sycophancy out there where it's like, no, your opinions have to be exactly the same as mine. And I'm like, of the opinion, like, well, if that's the case, then, you know, what's the difference between us and the left? Because the left,
right,
they have the authoritarian bend of all your thoughts must be in line with this. All your thoughts must think this. You cannot think anything that goes outside of that. If you do, you're a bad person. And I'm like, no, yeah, I'm thinking that you're probably a little crazy. Yeah. So I have differences of opinion with people that I even agree with. You know, like I said, I had a moment tonight. I know you're a man of faith. And I will never, ever pretend to be a preacher or a pastor or a minister. I'll never do that. That's not what that wasn't my path in life. God chose me. He says, you're going to do music. And then he also said, you're going to have healing hands. You're going to put your hands on people and physically heal them. So during the day, you know, I'm working at McDonald's, healing them with those ice and cream cones and the French fries and the chicken nuggets. I'm healing them with that. Wink, wink. And don't eat the cones, they're made of human skin. Allegedly. Don't sue me, McDonald's. I'm just saying. But yeah, he called me to be a healer, and I do that. And I have a little, I'm going to share a little testimony here for you. So I had someone come and see me in the drive-thru, as one does, come get my therapy. And he had massive pain in the shoulder, and he had a massive fall. Matter of fact, he almost died. He did die. So he was on a ladder at his restaurant. He fell and was injured so bad that he stopped breathing. Had it not been
Wow.
for his wife there and doing chest compressions, he would have died. When the EMS showed up after 11 minutes of him being on the ground with her, they finally showed up and they said if you had stopped, he would have been dead because he stopped breathing.
Holy smokes.
Mm-hmm. So, the guy's nursing some injuries still from that, but he's coming to see me because now he's wanting to get his mobility back. And they had tried everything. They had tried Arby's, they had tried Wendy's, they had tried Subway, and, I mean, you name it. And then they finally decided, they saw my little ad and they were like, fuck it. So they came and they called me up and said, hey, okay, where at? And I said, okay, I could be at this place at this time. And so here they are pulling through the drive-through. I'm looking at them. I'm like, yeah, here, eat these nuggets. Okay. I'm looking at them. I spent like an hour with them. Nice little lunch. And when I finished with him, he sat up and I said, how are you feeling? And he started crying. And I was like, oh, shit. You don't know how to take that. He's like, you don't understand, man. I've tried everything. I've tried
Is it
everything.
a good cry or bad cry?
It was a good cry. He goes, that's why I was thinking, oh, my God, what happened here, And he was like, I have tried everything, and this is the only thing that's worked. I don't know what the hell you did, but I don't know why what you did was different than other people. I want to thank you. And I was like, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. So, now he's going to be a regular in the drive-thru. I'm going to see him regular in the drive-thru, and it's a good thing. And at that point, I felt just gratitude. Just gratitude. We talked for about 15, 20 minutes after that. And then him and his spouse said, thank you very much. And we're very happy to have been in the drive-thru at this time and enjoyed these chicken nuggets and these most delicious French fries. And I said, well, it was a pleasure to help you. And when they walked away, I said, thank you, God. Thank you. It wasn't me that did this. It was him that did this. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm just the vessel. I'm the vessel. What did Rush Limbaugh say? He says, skills on loan from God.
Talent on loan from God.
That's it. Talent on loan from God. This ain't me, baby. It's all him. He's working through these hands. And I just sat there quiet, right there behind the register, as one does. And I contemplated and I reflected. And I said, this is the real important stuff to me. I like to stream because we were doing Tony Baker videos for you, Kimmy. We would do we could do a doom scroll. Sure. Yeah, we could scroll through and look at all the horrible news. Why? Nah, you've been doing that all day long. By the time 7:30 at night comes around, what are you doing? No. Nothing's going to change. Just come back tomorrow. We like to blow off steam Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you guys, y'all are in the chat. Kenedon, I'll let you know that in the chat, you can come and see me 9 a.m. Mondays and Fridays for the Doom Scroll shows, but you can see me Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's not Doom Scroll. It's anything but Doom Scroll. It's puppy and kitten videos. We're going to laugh our asses off. We're going to maybe testify about God a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit. Even you atheists in the chat, you're welcome to come in. We're not going to preach to you and tell you if you don't believe this, you're a bad person. No, not at all. I'm a former atheist, former Catholic. So I was raised Catholic, became atheist, and now I'm actually have a true relationship with Jesus. I actually met God back in 2017. And I've told the story on the show before, but when did you come to Jesus or have the Jesus moment for you? When did that happen for you?
So, grandfather on my mom's side was a preacher, so I was drugged to church as a kid. I actually got baptized in the Pacific Ocean as a soldier when I was stationed in Hawaii. And then, as part of soldiering, I didn't really fall away completely, but, things took my faith was not as prevalent as it should have been. And I was slowly getting back into it. And honestly, when I saw the bull crap happening with COVID, I knew that, that was evil being perpetrated with a lot of the things going on. And that's when I really started making my walk back. But there was, like when I retired from the Army, I prayed, because it's scary to give up what you've done for 20 years, and Obama had just been elected. So the market at that point in time was, scary as hell. And I'm like, Lord, just, keep my hands and my brain busy and food on the table for my family, and, I'm good. And I've kept my end of the bargain, and I, promised him, I was like, I'll never take a job for money alone. There has to be something else in it. So I've kept my end of the bargain, and I've been blessed. So that's definitely, that was part of it too. But I turned down jobs. Um, you know, I took a pay cut when I got out of the army, and there was a dude waiting for me in the parking lot. I was, working as a contractor on the Air Force Base. And let me tell you, as a retired Army senior NCO, working on an Air Force base was nonstop entertainment. It was absolutely hilarious. We do things different. But guy from a different company met me in the parking lot on my way out of work and was like, "Hey, we want you." And I'm like, "Hey, and it probably would have been a $10,000 or $15,000 pay raise, significant." And I say, this is going to sound weird, but I gave these people my word that I would be with them for another year. And if I don't have my word, I got nothing. And he's like, well, that doesn't sound weird. That's why we're looking for you.
That's right.
So, well, come see me in a year. Maybe we'll talk. So, but yeah, that's, that was me, keeping my word and my promise. And like I said, I've never regretted it. And I've been blessed ever since.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I did the same thing. I'm lucky that McDonald's pays me as well as they do to do what I do, which is kind of weird. And but they do pay me handsomely for what I do. But it's all about the education. That McDonald's college is no joke, everybody. And that McDonald's certification is no joke, everybody. You got to learn to master the French fries before you can master the flipping the burgers, all that stuff. It's
Don't
quite
forget the shake machine, man. Everybody screws up the shake machine.
and that's my new job now. It's my number one thing. I got that. When Trump came and worked at that McDonald's, I was there. He goes, "Here you go, Kang. Here's the most beautiful. I got the key. It's right here. It's like, here's the key. I'll give it to you. You put it in, you click it. It works automatically. It fills up with Trumpian goodness." Before then, they told me to lie to everybody. I never lied. They said, "Is the shake machine working?" I was like, "Hell yeah, working. How much you want, player? 2 scoop, 14 scoops. I don't give a shit how much you want." I'll be hooking people up, and they didn't like it. But that's right. Kang is the Sheikh Zula. I'm the Sheikh Zula. That's right. The Sheikh Zula, the Mike Ruler, the old schooler. You want a trip? I'll take it to you. You know that. I got Frylock and Meatwad hanging out with me. Carl's actually my manager. He goes, "What happened to my freaking car?" I'm sorry, me and Russ are doing stupid crap in the chat while we're talking here. But yeah, I know what it means, man. I've turned down better jobs. People told me, "Oh, you should give me this, you give me that, give me a work for me." I said, "No, I'll never work for no one ever again." I've done that. I had a mentor of mine who says, "You know what, Kang? You're really good at making other people wealthy." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, it wasn't a compliment, brother." He says, "You are really good at making other people wealthy." So I was like, damn, that's right. So I started looking at what I can do to help me. I ain't wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, but I sure as hell ain't streaming to make no money. I'll tell you that. I'm only on here for, I'm here for shits and giggles primarily, but also to educate, because I've faced my death. I'm sure you have too, as being a military man. You faced your death, and I've had bullets go past my shoulder, so I know what it's like. They make that strange little whirring sound when they go past you. They have this weirdly strange sound. It's hard to describe. I know what it's like.
Never got that experience.
Yeah,
so I was in the softest part of the military possible.
No.
But
in the rear with the gear.
I was. If you look up, you familiar with the term REMF?
No. REMF.
REMF, rear echelon mofo.
Oh yeah, you're in the rear with the gear.
That was us. That was us. No, it was signals intelligence. So we did our job, inside, buildings with no windows, and but our, they kept, feed us this line of bull crap that, well, you're doing your combat mission every day, which, okay, there's something to that, but hell, I couldn't buy deployment to the sandbox.
Right. Right. And I guess you could be blessed because a lot of guys are coming out of that, much worse for wear. There's a lot of guys coming out of that much worse for wear, and it's a blessing, you know. I got a lot of my friends from high school that all went into the military, and they came out with a head full of PTSD because they've seen some shit they wish they hadn't seen. So I get it, I totally get it.
It gnaws at you though, knowing that, like I had young soldiers that I trained. I was their platoon sergeant to try and prepare them for their next duty assignment, where they might be deployed. And there was one that I know of that she got deployed and she was a stellar soldier and she didn't come home at all. Or came home in a bag. But yeah, it gnaws at you a little bit that, you never, it's like, did I do enough before I retired?
Right, of course, yeah.
That's like, survivor's guilt, call it, or whatever. But yeah, and I was trying to explain it to my mom, and she was totally didn't get it, which, not surprising. And very few civilians will, but yeah, it kind of gnawed at me a little bit. When I was retiring, it's like, did I do enough? And I hope I did. I pray I did, but there's some people that have contacted me afterwards, years after retiring, and say, hey, I remember you. Thanks for what you did.
Yeah, it's the same feeling I had right in 2021 when I got hospitalized with COVID Delta, the real bad one, and they were telling me you're going to die, you're going to die, and this was a little bit of a messed up story, but I'm going to have to share it with you. So, we had a garage studio, my buddy Mike's house. We had the old Swamp Fox Studios. We were doing the 3/4 high thing, and the Swamp Fox live stream and Swamp Fox Productions were doing all that, and we're having guests come into the show, kind of like I'm doing right now. I'm having you on the stream, but we would have guests come into the garage studio, and then we would live stream them performing live. We had Eddie Bush, we had Time and Pressure, we had Hollow Point, we had everybody. We had the Lost Cosmonauts, we had we had the Shim Creeps, punk. We had everybody. It was fantastic. We had a lot of viewership, and it was just a good time. And I had just started playing in 2020. Picked up a bass, learned how to play it. Mike had shown me, hey, this is how you read the frets, this is how you string it, this is how you tune it, this is how you read the frets. He showed me tabs, and I was like, I'll play by ear. So instead, I just started learning how to play by ear and started writing songs. And he goes, hey, let's do this. We formed a band. We did the garage studio thing and started bringing people in. Well, we had a fella come in, and apparently he just got his booster, and he was real sick. And he was just a viral bomb, just shedding virus like crazy, and he got all of us sick. And I was in talks. I was in talks with another band. I was talking to their bassist about bringing them into the studio as the next guest. We had a guest every week. Every Sunday, we'd have a guest come in and spend 3 or 4 hours in the studio with us. And we recorded the session, and we also had some pretty good recording equipment, and we offered to do some recording for them if they wanted to. It was kind of a way of them experiencing our setup was, but also get their name out there. Some we did it all for free. We got some sponsors to help us keep going, a few local businesses, and it was good. And this guy's name was Ricky. He was the bassist for this band, and he was talking to me on Facebook Messenger, as one does, because my Facebook's nothing but music people. That's all it is. I don't got any friends or family on there, any locals. It's all just music people. So I'm talking to him, and I said, I'd like to have you on the show. He goes, sure. And I said, sorry, we got COVID. We're going to have to wait a couple weeks. He goes, I just got diagnosed with COVID as well. I guess it's probably a good thing. We both wound up in the hospital at the same time. And I'm still messaging him. I said, hey, Ricky, how you doing? How you doing? He's like, I'm so scared, Bear, because my performance name is Bear. And the big bass bear, And he's like, hey, Bear, I'm scared, man. I've been this scared before in my life. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling this, man. I don't know if I'm going to survive this here. I said, you'll be fine, Ricky. Keep the faith. 3 days in, he stops replying. Now, we're talking like almost the entire time on Facebook, just back and forth. I messaged him for like 3 or 4 hours. I messaged his wife. He goes, "Oh, Ricky died."
Damn.
So I was crushed. Never met the guy. Crushed. 3 days later,
That's
I'm out of the
crazy.
hospital. 6 days of struggling. You know, they said your viral load's down, your oxygen's coming up, you can go home. Spent 6 weeks at home on oxygen. A few days after I got out of the hospital, they have his funeral. I went to the funeral. A lot of my music fam is there. I'm like, hey, Barry, you feeling better? Oh, it's so good to see you out. And I walk up and I said, thank you, I appreciate that. I walk up to his wife. I said, I'm really, really sorry. She goes, oh, you're Barry. He was talking to you. I mean, he was dropping stuff on me that I know he wasn't talking to anyone else about because it was like, you know, fear of death kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I walk up to his casket, and the first time I met the dude, he was in his casket. And I just sat there and I said, I am sorry, brother, that I couldn't meet you before this moment. It was the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. Yeah. So my sense of urgency, like a freaking skyrocket, went up like SpaceX. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do the music thing. And then I got motivated to go back to talk. I've been talking politics for 20 years. I used to do YouTube back from like 2006 to 2013. You know, and then you get doxxed and harassed and threatened, and that all happened to me back then. And I was like, F, it's not worth it. So I just focused on life and family, and things got a lot better for me. But after I had that next near miss with death, you know, I said, you know what, I think that I need to be talking about my opinions on things. So I decided to go ahead and throw the dice out there again and put my stupid face on camera and start blah blah blah. All my old streams are still available up on my Rumble. You can see when it was just like natural lighting or Kurt Cobain poster and a camera. That's all I had. It was bad. I didn't have any of the studio stuff, but life has changed so much for me then. But I got a sense of urgency, so that's how it works, man. That's how it works, and I don't have to do this. This puts me at risk. I mean, I've already had people dox me again and threaten me again. I've gone through that whole shit, dude. If you had any idea, but I'm still motivated to help. As a matter of fact, I told a story tonight, just before you came on, about one of the crew that actually participated in all that activity against me was hanging out over at a different stream, and I just happened to be compelled to go there. I normally don't go to YouTube to watch live streams. I was compelled to go there. This person was in the chat, and a little reconciliation happened there.
Awesome.
And I was like, isn't that great? I felt so good. And I was like, you take care. I said, you take care too. I'll see you around. That was good. That was really good. So, you know, you're taking a risk by coming out and put your face and your name out there. You put your face and your face out there, and it's just the way it is. So, you know, you're going to have people look at you, hey, I saw you on that stream, and your opinion is, oh, I don't like it. I mean, I know how I handle it. How do you handle it? Do you have a family member, or do you have like friends that have completely different political opinions than you, and they say mean things to you? I mean, how do you usually handle that? And what advice would you give to the chat for someone that disagrees with you politically?
Well, I haven't been confronted yet. I have family members that, you know, are of different opinion, and normally, you know, like one of my daughters is, you know, she went to college. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh.
We talk about stuff we have in common.
Right.
You know, and that part is mutual, you know. So, but you know, if she wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit, I would, but there's a respectful way to mix it up.
Sure thing.
But you know, she knows where I stand. You know, because hell, half the time when I was driving her, you know, back and forth to college, you know, we would be listening to, you know, Rush or Glenn Beck or something like that. So she knows exactly where I stand.
Right.
But you know, as far as, you know, being at risk, more than you know, because, you know, that's especially doing what I do for a living. You know, there's things I can and cannot talk about. You know, as far as my professional life, and you know, there's people in my company that, you know, I'm not shying away from my opinion, but you know, there's only so far I will go.
Sure, of course.
And you know, that's just a matter of, you know, I'll tell you some stuff offline, but yeah, there's been some things that have happened professionally that Like I said, my opinions are my opinions. And as a matter of fact, talking with one of my managers before I went on vacation, a guy that I assumed that I had zero in common with, but I always just kept things at a very professional level. And, somehow he confided that he was a believer too,
That's good stuff.
you know,
And a lot of people
and
do
he,
that. Yeah,
he
they'll
brought
do
that
that.
up.
Yep.
And I'm like, heck yeah.
That's
So,
good.
and then afterwards, he's like, I don't normally, get this personal. I'm like, well, you know, God, God thought you needed to. So,
That's right. He sure did.
but
He sure did. Like tonight, I was compelled to go to YouTube. I'm having dinner. My friend Adam Krigler goes on. Adam's a buddy of mine. He comes in the chat every once in a while. I hang out in his chat, and we did some gaming together. And he used to be on Timcast. He was the Ian Crossland before Ian Crossland existed. But good to see you, Yafuni. Kinesi is in the Chiz chat. I appreciate you being here, brother. But I saw he was live, and I was over in the Rumble. Say, hey, how you doing, bud? How you doing, and whatnot. And I never do this, but something told me, good was YouTube. I was like, okay. I went to his YouTube. I wasn't even subscribed to him on YouTube because I didn't want to support the Red Monster. So I went and subscribed to him and saw he was live. I went down in the chat and I started chatting, and that's when the previous person I had an adversarial relationship with was in the chat, and it actually, instead of it being adversarial, it actually was reconcilial.
Good.
I was like, that's cool. And I was like, why did I go? I had no reason to go. I was already watching him on Rumble. And it's something that my good friend Susan says to me all the time. She says, God leads. He leads. And you know how he can lead? It's because you have your antenna up. I think people have got their antenna, their spiritual antenna, down deliberately. I think they deliberately say, nah, 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 because it always seems like, not my circus, not my monkeys, God.
right.
Imagine if people started taking that attitude back in biblical times. What if Moses has said, not my circus, not my monkeys?
Right.
Consider it. Moses was an atheist. Moses was a Hebrew, a Jew, who didn't know he was a Jew, raised by Egyptians, and even thought that they were full of shit. He didn't believe in any gods. He thought it was all nonsense. Until he met the angel. Until he saw the burning bush. Yeah. Until it literally whacked him on the head.
It's all fun and games till it ain't.
Yeah, it all is fun and games until it swims up on you like that shark in Jaws and bites you on the ass. And that's what happened to me. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way God works, It's the way it works. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, all coincidence and nonsense and hooey. I said, look, I'm a recovering atheist. So I still see things from that skeptical. I've kept that healthy skepticism. Oh, I've kept that. And that's something I think a lot of people should keep. Way too many people are so easily led into nonsense because they're desperate to be part of something. It doesn't matter if it's an evil thing. Why else do you think Sodom and Gomorrah happened? How else do you think that Nazi Germany happened? Because people were desperate to be a part of something, and then all it took for evil to grow and to get bigger and to get stronger and to actually win was good men sit there and say nothing. The banality of evil. I said, nope, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to speak up. And it's cost me a lot. Speaking up just in the past couple of years has cost me a lot. The trouble it's caused me, you would have no idea. Trouble it's caused me. And I have people in the chat like Russ and especially Ashro. He's been there. He watched a lot of it happen. He watched an awful lot of it happen. And it's difficult. Friends come and go, chatters come and go, things like that. But when people take it offline and try to come at you, they go after your family, they go after your business, they go after your, your privacy. That's like, whoa, it's a whole nother level of it. But it's slings and arrows I'm willing to take because I am not forever. And I would like to have my legacy be more than just a funny guy in a crown on the internet.
Yeah.
I think it matters. I could just save one normie from saying, I want to go and whack my winky off. Maybe I want to, get that done. I think maybe my job is, my purpose in life has been fulfilled, but I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Because during the day, I'm doing that healing job chicken nuggets and tendies and soft serve all day long, and it's very, very rewarding. It's very rewarding. And I'm sure what you're doing in IT is very important too. I know it's very important too. But as you say, it's not spiritually fulfilling.
Correct.
The woodworking is. So, what are your favorite things to do in woodworking?
It's really hard to. It depends on what mood I'm in. So there are people that like all they do is pen turn. I don't want to put myself in that box. So, like I said, growing up around cabinet making, if I got to build cabinets, I build cabinets. The art of box making, making really nice boxes, is fun. But I don't want to do it all the time. So it's not that, well, you could almost say I have ADD in the shop, but I like to build different things and, kind of push my boundaries a little bit. If you look at the box that is my um, avatar in Rumble and on Pilled, that was a Bible box that I made for my mom years ago. And that was a matter of I was home. It was shortly after my dad passed in 16, and I saw my grandfather's Bible there, and we're talking a Bible that's dang near 100 years old, and it's falling apart. And I'm like, Mom, you need a box for that Bible to protect it. So the next time I went up, I had made this really nice Bible box, and it's got finger joints, opposing woods, so it's maple on the ends, and then the front and the back are walnut. With finger joints, you get the opposing woods right there. So with the light and the dark, it plays on that constant struggle between light and dark. Had a really fancy top on it. It was made out of bubinga. It was an exotic wood, and to me that was the you know the fancy outer shell that we all put on, or that a lot of people put on, and then had some really sturdy feet that were um, really made to represent the foundation that our faith is supposed to be.
Right.
So there was a lot of thought and symbolism that went into the box that I made, and the brass catch. I made some more. I can't dig one out right now, but the brass catch was actually a ball that snapped in between, and it was like three little balls that once it locked together. When I saw it in there's a high-end woodworking store called Woodcraft, and when I saw it there, I'm like, that's the Trinity. So made that work. So yeah, she was floored when I took that up there to her, and the best compliment that I had to date was months later. One of my brothers came by to visit, and he saw the box, and he's like, I don't remember Dad making this. When did Dad make this? I'm like, okay, if my own brother can't tell the difference between my work and my dad's work, then I'm getting better.
Yeah, I'd say, and the symbolism in the building of that, it's something that I wouldn't have thought of, honestly. Something I wouldn't have thought of. And the huge compliment your brother pays to you, say, I can't tell if this is yours or Dad's.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I had help with some of those design features.
Yeah, I'm certain. I'm absolutely certain. I know that we're guided, and it's all about, are you listening, brother?
Yeah.
People say, "Oh yeah, I can hear it." Yeah, but are you listening? Hearing something is just
Right.
like, oh, you're perceiving there's a sound. Listening is actually paying attention to the sound. I heard something
Yeah,
outside.
it wasn't a sound, it was just a feeling. Oh, I need to
Right.
do it this way.
That's right, and that's what I mean. Like, are you listening? And that's what it
Yep.
is. Your spiritual antenna doesn't know a particular organ. It's not something you see, you smell, you feel, you taste, or touch. It's something that's a little beyond that. It's an extrasensory kind of thing. And it's like with me tonight. Just hey, go to YouTube. Why? No reason why. There was no reason for me to go to YouTube tonight and have that interaction. That was the reason why. There was no reason. I was already interacting with Adam and everyone else. But it's just the reality of the situation where we live in is there's so many people that just do not want to actually, they do not want to have that relationship. I think that frightens them that they're not in control. But the truth is, you ain't. And I'm okay with not being in control. I'm okay with stuff happening that I can't deal with. I'm okay with stuff happening. It's okay. Kinesi dropping that dollar bill. I'm going to add that to the ticker. I do appreciate that, partner. He's going to do some gaming. Cool, dude. Keep on gaming, rumbling like a rock star, y'all, he says. Thank you for coming by, brother. It's good to see you. It's way too often that I think we have these conversations when it's way too late. Don't wait. Have these conversations now. I think now is the best time. Now is the best time to testify because you were not afforded a single minute. You're not guaranteed.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed.
Yep.
Not guaranteed. And I want everyone to know that there are people out there like yourself that are doing things with their hands, making permanent things. Your lasting legacy after you're gone, it's going to be a lot of your woodworking, some of your online stuff, the way you touched people in their lives, your friends and family. That's the indelible touch of your legacy. All the things you've built, what's your favorite thing? Was it the Bible box, or I know you built a crucifix recently?
The cross is one of the favorites. Honestly, I think the favorite one for me would be the concealment gun shelf. That was the first time that I actually. So there's a backstory there. I was at the rodeo there in Texas, and checking things out. And there was a guy. He had a drop down concealment gun shelf that had a little magnet on there, or magnetic latch. And I'm like, this is really cool. The nerd in me was really appreciative of it. And but he sat there screwing around with that thing for 20 seconds to find the sweet spot to pop the latch. And I'm, now I'm like, okay, well, this was a really good idea, but I don't like that latch system. And I mentioned to him at the time, and this is 15 years ago, that I was an amateur woodworker, and he kind of just dismissively flung the paperwork at me, and he's like, well, go make your own then. Okay, dude. So I sat down in the garage a couple weekends later with a scratch pad of paper and designed my own version of it. And I'm older, I'm going to be 55. So I watched a lot of Batman as a kid, and I knew I wanted to push on something to pop the latch, kind of like the statue on Commissioner Gordon's desk.
Yeah, cool.
So I designed from scratch an internal latch mechanism. And so there's a bowl sitting on top of the shelf. You push the bowl back towards the wall and the bottom drops out. You can retrieve your pistol and take care of business. And when I figured that one out, that's when I knew that, I'm like, okay, I can actually make stuff that's cool.
Do you still have, is it in the shop or is it around the house or?
The prototype is in my old shop. My second prototype I gave to my brother. Actually, so I made two of the second prototype. One of them's here in the house. The other one I gave to my brother. And then I started making them to sell to people.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. What's on the inside of it? Is it just a box, or is it like, felt lined, or, has it got like
So as it drops down, I have faux leather on it to have some sort of padding, and then there's dowel pins to help hold your pistol in place, and then have a couple of little blocks on either side with magnets to hold a spare mag.
It's got to have those extras. It's got to have those extras.
So that one was, I looked at a picture of somebody else's product and reverse engineered it in my own way, and then there's a coat rack that I made. Took somebody's YouTube video, their idea, kind of switched things up a little bit and I stayed much closer to their idea because I liked it. Switched what I thought needed to be switched, just for functionality. But and then I made a concealment coffee table. Um, the coat rack I've done videos on, or at least one video. The the drop down shelf, I may have done partial video. The coffee table build I might do. That coffee table is a bunch of work.
I'd imagine
But
so.
that one's got an RFID on it. You pop the RFID, and then everything is tucked up into the framework of the table, so it drops down, and then a drawer slides out.
That's groovy. Russ says that his pillow has 2 mags. Thanks, Mike Lindell.
That might be lumpy.
It's a pretty lumpy pillow. It's a 5.56. What do you got in there, man? What you got in there, man? Yeah, all of my stuff. You see my axes right here, but just beyond the camera, within reach, is all the rest. That's all the rest. Plus, it's all around the house, so I'm never within my fishing rods. I mean, my fishing gear. I'm never too far. Never beyond one hand reach of some fishing gear. You never know. You never know. You never know. No.
We've had two chickens come up, missing in the past week. So there's a little something. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to be outside, camping out, and that's a little bolt action 22, a little tack driver.
Plink.
And,
Plink.
I'm not sure what it is.
Probably raccoon. Probably raccoon.
It was broad daylight yesterday.
Fox.
Like between 2 and 4. So it's either going to be a fox or
Coyote.
a feral cat.
Yeah, cats are. Yeah, they're probably the best hunters I think out there. They're obligate carnivores, so they have to kill to eat. And there's a story about this one Australian town that the cats, all the local cats, house and feral, killed every single bird in the city. Not one bird in the city left. They're that effective.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a cat man. I got 4 cats myself. I'm a cat daddy. I like my pussycats, but hey, look, if they're gonna be killing your chickens, sorry, pussycat gots to go.
Yeah. Well, there's a stray that we've been feeding. And she's getting friendlier. She's not there yet. She won't let us pet her or anything. But I told my wife, I'm like, if it's that little kitty, and she's like right there, it's like, well, if it's her, she got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But we put some kibble down for her yesterday evening, and she dove into it. I'm like, well, she ain't fat and happy on chicken, so it ain't her.
No, she would have already been
The
doing
hunt
that.
continues.
The hunt continues. And Russ is like, that's funny. I saw a bunny that would fit into the palm of my hand today. I'm like, yeah.
I saw, so when I was working late and I had you on mute on my iPad, next to my work computer, but I looked outside and there was a little baby deer, almost still wobbly legged, like brand new baby, outside outside my office window, nursing on its mama. And I'm like, okay, well, that's God's beauty right there.
Right.
But it makes a long ass work call just a little bit more bearable when you can look out the window and see nature.
I agree, man.
But
I agree.
yeah, I love nature, but dang, if you're gonna come and start picking off my chickens, then I got something for you.
That's right. Because chickens, they produce them eggs, and also chickens taste good. Chickens taste good. Now, speaking of your eggs, are your chickens are they laying blues, or are they laying or browns, or?
Brown eggs.
Browns. I heard that if you feed chickens a certain type of vegetable, that it'll give you blues.
I think it's a combination. It's a different kind of chicken or a different breed of chicken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a few called Easter eggers, and yeah, you can vary their diet to get different hues. I forget exactly what breed it is. My wife could probably tell you, but I just like large brown eggs.
Indeed.
that I don't have to go to the store for.
Yeah, of course. It's also the yolks are nice and dark orange, and that means they're nice and
Oh,
healthy,
yeah.
you know. But for the bright yellow yolks, guys, just throw them away. They ain't got no nutrients in them. Those are them factory eggs where they fed nothing but grain. They ain't nothing. Chickens are predators, man, and they're meant to kill and eat shit. So feed them the mealworms, feed them the bugs. You know, you can feed them scraps. Hell, chickens will even eat other chickens. I shit you not. And I
And
learned.
they'll eat rats too.
They'll eat
I
rats.
found a couple of dead rats in the chicken run. You know, they're pissed today because my wife didn't let them out and run the yard.
Right.
You know, she's not inclined to let them out and run until I've taken care of the problem.
Yeah, the predator problem's got to go away. Got to go away. Yeah, Asher's like, yeah, duck eggs are yummy too. I've never had duck eggs. I've eaten duck. Never had duck eggs. Now here's an interesting egg story. So you ever heard of this show called Survivor Man? And it's Les Stroud is the host. And what he'll do is he'll have a crew.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. So they would drop him off in the middle of nowhere with like 100 pounds of camera gear. And he would record himself surviving for a week out in anywhere. He had no crew. There was no one there to save him. This man will record his own death one day. And one of the places they had dropped him off was Namibia in Africa. Now, those of you that know me, you know that I am Kang for a reason because I was born in Morocco, Africa. That's correct. I'm an African American, a legit hyphenated American. Tough shit, all you wokies. Get all mad if you want, but it's true, mofo. I is am and be a Kang. Why else do you think I wear the crown? Moving on. In Namibia, they brought Les Stroud in there and said this is one of the least hospitable places in Namibia. But they said, okay, well, we're going to give you some stuff here. So they gave him an ostrich egg. It was the only supply they gave him. Now, they didn't tell him how to cook it. Well, he figured out how to cook it. He took it, sat it in the fire, and would rotate it, kept turning it, rotate it right there. And he took a rock, cracked it open, took a big chunk of shell, and ate it like a big hard-boiled egg. Fantastic. Right. Now, do you know the Namibian way of cooking those ostrich eggs? You make a fire, you cook it down, you push the coals out a little bit, you crack the egg open, put them on top of the coals, push it over with coals and dirt, and come back 3 hours later. Then you dig up this dirt and ash omelet and eat it. It's 10,000 years of culinary excellence. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. He figured out how to do it on his own in like 10 minutes. It was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, yeah, well, people, they get locked into a certain behavior pattern and they don't want to break out of it. It's just kind of weird. Yeah. Just kind of weird. But 67%, they weren't thinking outside that box. And I think that when they did it, they had Anthony Bourdain was visiting Namibia, and I think they did it to him as a troll to see if he would eat it, and he did, because they even killed a wild pig and gave him the pig anus to eat. Literally just stripped it out of it. They stripped the poop out of it, threw it 2 times on the fire, and handed it to him, and he was like, "No, thank you." And that guy's got a cast iron stomach. My Lord, eating your own crops is definitely a way to go. Do you do anything else besides chickens, or is it just chickens?
No, just chickens. I tried to raise rabbits, especially during 2020. Making your own food was definitely top of mind. But I just felt awful. The heat down here in Texas. Every time I went outside, the rabbits were just looking absolutely miserable, and I understand that the end purpose there is to butcher them and throw them in the freezer, but I want them to have a good life before then.
Sure.
So that run of rabbits, because we had meat rabbits as a kid, growing up poor in the 70s and early 80s. It's like you figure out ways to bolster your food. So knowing that we did it as a kid, I'm like, I could put meat on the table, but they were just so miserable. So once they were all ready, went ahead and butchered them, threw them in the freezer, and that was the end of that experiment. So right now it's just chickens and slowly adding to my raised bed gardens. I live on a hilltop and it's just rock, so I can't really have a garden.
You gotta have beds,
a traditional in-ground. Yeah, so I done raised beds just like the ones The ones I did the video of, those are the raised beds that I have. Started doing rainwater collection so I can water, what I'm planting. We've been in severe drought for years. So I live right next to a 5,000 acre lake that is what was a lake. Now it's nothing but riverbed.
Damn.
So
Damn.
the drought thing is real.
Yeah, I've seen
So,
people doing those water cat, like the basically that's the water catches for horses, and they'll take those and then they'll build a little raised platform so they're off the ground. They'll take like not really have to build one. They take pallets, take a couple of like 4 pallets, put them down, and put 2 of these things on top of the pallets, and then after that, they'll then start putting in cardboard and coffee grounds and soil and cardboard and newspaper and coffee grounds and that kind of stuff to make the good compost, and they'll dump all their garbage, till it over, and they'll pull out like tarps and stuff when they need to. They'll stake down tarps off of their fence and pull it down to give it some shade when it needs to or whatever. They do it all over here in the backyards because almost everybody here in Charleston's got a fenced-in backyard. And you can hear the chickens every once in a while when you go past some people's houses. And I'm like, HOA complains about that. I think they need to get effed. Here's a basket of 20 eggs. Here you go. Stop complaining. Come get free eggs every week from me, and I'm going to keep these eggs going, okay? So how many eggs do you think you produce a week?
right now, the producers are 3 years old, so I think we got 5 that are of laying age. So we're averaging like 3 eggs a day.
3 eggs a day. I gotcha.
We got 6 young ones they should be coming here in another month or so. They should start laying. So when they come on, we're probably gonna be somewhere in probably 8 eggs a day territory.
That's still good because if you have 8 eggs a day and you harvest them daily, you can feed 4 people in the house 2 eggs a day. And they're high in nutrient. I mean,
Well, there's only 2 people in the house, so my wife started freeze drying some of them. A lot of the excess, some we'll give to neighbors or our daughter, to feed my grandson. Even though he doesn't really like eggs that much for some odd reason, but yeah, wife started freeze drying them.
How old's the grandson, man? If you don't mind me asking.
2 years old.
2 years.
And we just went on a road trip with him. Took him up to meet my mom. My mom just turned 89 a couple of days ago.
Well, happy birthday to
4
Mama
generations
Wiki.
of us. Yeah.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
I got a lot of people here doing the same thing, but we're in Charleston. You're out in Texas, but Russ was born here in Charleston, so he kicked and screamed into the world. He's my conjoined twin, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Even though I was born like 20 years before he was, and I was born in Africa. Don't ask me how that works, but he finishes my sentences. He's been coming in. He's coming to the chat for the past, almost 2 years now. He's been coming to the chat, and he will finish my sentences. I'll actually see my next thought pop up on the screen. When I think something, he'll actually write it out. It's weird, dude. It's a weird thing, but
I bet.
I figure we're conjoined. We're Siamese twins. It's kind of weird. But I love the idea of growing and getting some chickens myself. I think I'll probably go to my mom's house. She's got a nice big fenced-in backyard, and where she lives a little ways away, but still, it'd be worth the trip. You know, get over there. And I thought about raising chickens and rabbits, and I thought we probably have a more temperate climate here in Charleston, so I think rabbits might be more successful here. But she also has a garage space, which can actually be conditioned, air conditioned if I need it to be. But rabbits, you're saying, can't handle the heat too much, you're saying, right?
They looked absolutely miserable. And we had set up a fan and, put ice blocks in, make them a little swamp cooler and, just to try and, get them some reprieve. And they were under the roof of a carport too. So I was trying everything I could to give them, some reprieve. But yeah, they're outside in 105-degree summer days. They were miserable looking.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, but definitely they make good soup. I tell you that. They make good stew. I'm a big fan of rabbit stew. I think a lot of people turn their nose up. I said no. I've eaten some pretty wild shit. My favorite thing of all wild game, and I think only hunters will agree with me, is deer heart. I think it's the best meat I've ever had in my life.
I haven't had the heart.
Oh, it's delicious. Oh, next time you take one, You cut all the fat off, you fillet it out, strip it, cast iron skillet, some nice butter, salt and pepper, a little spice, a little bit of garlic, and that's all you need. It is one of the absolute best things I've ever had. So every time we got this is deer country here.
Try it.
They're like locusts with ears, locusts with antlers. We call them locusts with antlers, and they're absolutely everywhere out here. And I'll kill them with my car. I'll go out there and be driving around. Here's my little soundboard.
We got so many here. There's some days I swear I could, just reach out and club one.
Yeah.
But our county put in an ordinance. Like I was gonna sit out in the backyard with my compound bow, back up there, and actually got to looking at the county ordinances to, because of what I do, I got to make sure I keep my ass out of trouble. And they actually have an ordinance that you have to have 10 acres to bow hunt, which is total horse crap. But
they really think that a bow's going to break a 10-acre distance? Really? I get it. They want to make sure there's enough meat to go around. But damn, really? You can't just stand off the back porch and just, hey, there's a deer in my backyard. Stick.
Now, none of my neighbors would complain.
Of course.
So, but, it is what it is.
What they don't know won't hurt them now, shall they?
When we had that whole Snowmageddon thing,
right?
When there was, we had the snow, and then ERCOT had, there was all these power outages in Texas. We got the camping gear out, and my wife made a nice big pot of venison chili, and we let the neighbors know that, hey, we got venison chili. Bring a bowl and your spoon, because we ain't doing dishes. And yeah. So that helps smooth things over with the neighbors too.
Oh yeah. I'm sure we know some free eggs and say, hey, by the way, I don't tell you where I got the deer, but I got a deer. I'm gonna process it. Hey, you want to come and help me process this bad boy? Let's take home a haunch. A lot of them are like, yeah, where'd you get it from? Don't worry about it. Okay, no problem. Right. I fell out of the back of a truck.
Right?
Yeah, I got some French rifles. Only been dropped once. Never been fired. It's like, really? All right, cool. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I like the whole homesteading idea. I got some land here to do it on, but it's a matter
I wish I had more land. I'm sitting on just a little over half an acre.
Right.
It's kind of wet, pie shaped, and the house is up here. It goes from one street to another, and the shop actually faces the other street. But it's it's a lot of hill. It's actually a small patch of woods between the backyard and down where the shop is. That slowly but surely I want to replace, take out some of the crap trees and basically plant a little mini orchard. I may not be able to grow livestock, but I can grow, fruit trees, I do believe.
What kind of fruit trees you looking at growing?
Kind of doing the Noah's Ark, 2 of each, so they produce more, but, apples and peaches, maybe some cherries, might even do a couple of olive trees. We'll see.
If you can, nut trees are a really way to go, like walnut, pecans, walnuts, almonds, particularly walnuts and pecans, because you can eat them fresh out the shell and from processing them. But that's a good way to go. There's this one, I got a story to relate. Russ may remember the story. It was the Appalachian men. It was just, they had it on like History or whatever, History Channel. One of them cable channels where they follow the life reality. And so they went out in Appalachia, dirt floor, well, outhouse kind of living. And there was these 2 friends, and they both lived on this large parcel of land. It would take you a while to walk to his house, but you could get to it, but they were the closest neighbors to each other. And they needed a new chainsaw to cut up all this fell wood, all this nice dry fell that's now there for to go, and they wanted to stack it all up, but the chainsaw was busted. They didn't want to do it by hand with the handsaw and the axes. That's too much of a bitch. We want to get through this quick.
Right.
So they had decided to mountain man innovate. So they got themselves in their truck, and they were contemplating their situation. And they drive past a woman's house and she's got pecan trees. And they say, ma'am, we'll clean your roof and your gutters. And we'll clean up your yard if you let us keep every pecan we get our hands on. She goes, all right. So they do it. They get their ladders out. They get up there and they're pushing everything off the roof and they're pushing everything out of the gutters. And they got these tarpaulins they had put down before they did it. And they caught up all the debris. Shook it, shook it, shook it, shook it, shook it. You know, so those nuts come to the top. And they went and did the whole lawn. And did all around the tree itself. They went and mow the lawn. And she goes, hey, boys, come over here and string my guitar, too. They did. She sat there playing for them while they were cleaning. And glasses of lemonade, 2 huge garbage bags full of pecans later. They then took her right on down to her friend who's got a wife who's a baker. And they said, hey, look, we just roasted these and pressed them. So they took them home and they roasted some and they pressed some and got pecan oil. They took it to this neighbor whose wife bakes and they swapped it for some scrap metal, railroad ties, you know, and stuff like that. Took it back and they got a forge, and they forged those into some of the nicest buck and bone handle knives you'd see on QVC rotating. I'm not talking, it's that quality.
Right.
They took it to the swap meet, and the swap meet, the guy had some red ginseng growing in the mountains, and he swapped them for that. So they swapped like $3,000 worth of these knives for probably like $4,000 worth of red ginseng. They took that and they went to a friend's house down the street, and he had a garage and he had a motorcycle in pieces. It was complete, but all these pieces all around. He said it was his bike from years ago. He was taking it apart working on it. He said, if you guys can fix it and put it back together again, I'll give it to you for that red ginseng. And they said, okay. They did that, and the show ended with them riding into town on that motorcycle with his friend following him in the pickup truck. They walked right into the old swap shop, got a brand new chainsaw, gave him the motorcycle. All of it because walnuts.
Right.
Or pecans. You know, if they didn't have access to those pecan trees, the daisy chain wouldn't have started.
Right.
They had nothing. They had nothing but a neighbor in need who had some resources, some pecans that they could turn into some oil and some roasted to trade, and then kept trading up. That's the ingenuity of the Appalachians. Country folk will survive. I'm telling you, folks. You city folks want to make fun of us. You make fun of us Southern guys. Make fun of us country guys. While you doing that, my ass is out there crabbing. I got crab traps out. I'm doing hand line, and I got 4 or 5 fishing lines out. I got my rifle out. I'm taking deer. I'm taking boar. I'm taking squirrel. I'm taking rabbit, and you guys are like, I wouldn't eat any of that. I'm like, yeah, you're starving. I'm going to enjoy being fat and happy.
Right.
That's why I say lead and brass is far more valuable than gold and silver any day. Thank you, Russ, for the 5.
Stocked.
Thank you, Russ. He says, my French rifle is too shiny. Thank you, Russ, for the 5. We'll add that to that as well. So how long have you been doing the bow hunting? I've never done it.
Well, that was an experiment too. I tried, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 years ago. I've had shoulder problems from the Army, chronic biceps tendonitis. You'll know about
all
that.
about that, right?
So I found a bow that was supposed to be okay for people with shoulder problems, and I gave it a whirl. And that's why you'll see next to the bow is now a crossbow.
All right.
Because my shoulder ended up not liking the compound. It was just, there's certain angles, and that just happened to be at that angle that irritated the biceps tendon. So I ended up shifting over to crossbow, and had one good season. I got a black buck antelope and two whitetails. Highly recommend black buck antelope. Delicious.
Got it with the crossbow?
Yep. All 3 of them, fixed blade broadheads, and then lost my place to hunt. Was a guy ended up selling his property, so now I'm looking for another place to hunt. But no, I've hunted, with a rifle before, and that was cool. But archery it's a different game because you're 20 yards away, so you can't make a mistake with your discipline. breathe too hard, move too fast. You can't do any of that. You have to, so disciplined to just wait for the perfect shot. And that was the challenge. With a rifle, it was okay. Wait till they come into a good spot, and bam, and then go check, track them down and process it. But yeah, the archery it's a whole different ball game.
Right, right. Any particular recommendations? My mom does not have any inclinations to have a firearm. I keep on trying to get her to, at least consider having a shotgun, but for home defense. But every time I go and I try to take her to the shop, and I try to suggest like a little. I want to get her like a 20 gauge, and she's like, so it'll feel more like a toy to her. But no, 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 no. She's wants to walk around and look at all the other stuff. And last time I had her there,
right,
she was looking at the bows because that seemed unthreatening. And so they had an indoor range, and this fella had a crossbow, and he was like, and you could see him when he hit that target fell over, and she was like, "Oh, that's like a gun that shoots it's called a crossbow, Mom. It's a very ancient technology. Yeah. It's even older than the gun." And she was like, "Oh." I said, "Yeah, would you like a crossbow instead, Mom?" The crossbow, the shotgun was like $300. The one I was looking at getting her. Yeah. The crossbow was $4,000. It was way beyond that. So she was like,
"Well, that one hanging up there cost me when I bought it, I don't know, at least 5 years ago. I think I spent $1,800 on it.
That's a good price.
By Mission. Yeah, so it's it was top of the line then. If you've ever heard of Matthews bows, Mission is their crossbow brand. So it's made in the USA up in Wisconsin, I believe. And their claim to fame with that crossbow is it'll do a one MOA or a one inch by 1 inch group at 100 yards.
Damn. That's a lot farther than I'd ever be.
Yeah, 405 or 410 feet per second.
Astro's got a crossbow. So, he says crossbows are better for his supraspinatus, which is the muscle that runs along the back of your collarbone and actually connects to your bicep tendon, by the way. Just to let you know. And he's the pistol grip. All McDonald's French fry guys know that. That's a very common thing. We'll try to read into that. Pistol grip crossbows are pretty reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. A little smaller.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with supraspinatus tendinopathy as well as biceps tendonitis. I got one time I had to go to ortho. They didn't have any ortho appointments on base, so I had to go see ortho out at the university hospital, and that guy was like, "Holy crap! I only see your condition in old people. Can I bring some students in?" So here I am. They're like, "Well, you see, this guy's got a pop, a click, and a grind. Well, we only see this in 60-year-olds."
Well, it's that military abuse, man. You got tendonitis in there as well. You got you said tendonitis. You have tendinosis in there, or a fraying of one of the tendons. Because once that goes, you got to get surgery.
They were talking about exploratory surgery, and that's the point I told them to F off. I'm like, "You're not."
Well, you got two tendons for the bicep. Is it the major or the minor?
I don't remember.
If it's the minor, if it pops, they won't even reattach it. They'll just say, just leave it. If it pops.
Oh, yeah.
They no longer go back and attach to the bone. Yes, all McDonald's guys know these things. And they'll just simply tuck it up underneath the major, and they'll do a meat staple on that, and then it'll simply merge with that. It's when you guys do your hammer curls versus your supine curls, you're stronger with the hammer than you are with supine. So that you're hitting two different heads when you're curling with your thumb up versus your thumb pointing out to the side. It's because you're hitting two different heads of the bicep. If it does go on you, don't worry, don't fret. Just go there. They'll do an MRI. They'll go, yeah, it came loose, and they'll say, hey, let's leave it, and it'll simply merge. As long as it doesn't roll down your arm. If it actually rolls down your arm, they'll pull it up and they'll just stick it under the other one and kind of do what they call a meat staple with it, like a dissolving staple, and it'll merge with that bicep, and you'll be just as right as rain. You probably still have the pain. Well, the pain will be diminished because the tendon will be no longer there. But your supraspinatus,
Right.
you said you got some sort of neuropathy going along with it too.
No, they called it supraspinatus tendinopathy, I
Yeah.
think is what they called it. Again, it's been years since I've had to deal with it. I've had to learn, how to exercise and
Right.
not go too far, to keep some sort of, fitness level, but not like I overdid it earlier this year.
Sure.
And like if I rolled over wrong onto my bad shoulder, it would
Yep.
wake me up.
Mm-hmm. That's why in a grappling
So
situation, because I'm also, I've got multiple black belts, and one of the things I spent some time on the mats, not too many years, but not a short period of time, is also doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'll be a white belt forever. I just refuse to put the time
right,
in. But when I was going to roll with somebody, I would say, okay, what do I know about them? And if I happen to know that I was going to roll with Wood Geek, and I knew that his shoulder, is your right shoulder?
yeah,
Yeah. If I knew his right shoulder was
both
the
of
weak,
them, but right's worse.
yeah, if it was his right shoulder, I would say, okay, I'm going to Kimura him on that side. Even me just getting in the Kimura position, he would tap. And I'd be like, that's always a good decision. Always tap. Don't take a permanent injury. And I don't know if you ever grappled or not, but probably not with your shoulder condition. But did you ever grapple prior to the shoulder problems?
No, I was already messed up when the Army started doing their combatives training, which was basically their adaptation of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
So I was already messed up at that point, and I just, pretty much had to sit and watch.
Oh, damn it. Astro said his bicep tore off the bone at the bottom, and it rolled up. Now he's got the Popeye arm. That sucks, bro. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, that's one thing they could probably get rid of by just taking it down. How long ago did that happen, Astro? I know a guy, not up in Canada, but one of my regulars that comes into the drive-through. He was a pretty damn good orthopedic surgeon. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You eat your spinach, he says. But yeah, grappling was one of the things I loved to do. I was 12 years old. My mom dropped me off the dojo, and I had just gotten suspended from school for fighting again, and she was like, "No, you need discipline." She dropped me off the dojo and made me sit there, and I'm watching them and all the kids in the gi and what you're doing all that stuff, and so I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be great. I had no idea what I was prepared for, and after the class, she'd come back and she had a conversation with the sensei, and she said, I want to enroll him. And she had a conversation alone with him for a good half hour after the classes were over. And he called me in the office. He goes, this is your gi, this is your belt, and this is your mother's tuition check she just paid. I'm not going to cash this check for a week, and you don't get the gi or the belt. You come back next week this time, and we'll talk. But before you do, you take a book off the shelf. You take any book you want, but you're going to read it cover to cover, and I'm going to ask you any question I want to ask about that book, because I know all these books back to back. If you cannot answer that question, I'm not going to take you as a student. I don't need your problems to become mine. I said, yes, sir. So I looked over on the bookshelf, and I said, hey, Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee. I saw that. I said, I'll take that. I thought, I'll get him. I'll go home and learn Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee. And it wasn't a karate or a martial arts or a kung fu book at all. It was a philosophy book. And I had my mind, boom. So I came back, and I'm standing there, and I read it twice from between Mondays. 7 days I read it twice. A kid, though, don't read. I read Stephen King. I'd read that when I was a kid. But this, I poured over it twice like I was on a mission.
Yeah.
So I came back, and I said, here's your book back, Sensei. And he goes, okay, I'm going to ask you one question. What does this cup of water represent? Okay. It's my cup of knowledge. That's correct. Now I want you to empty that cup without spilling a drop. So I drank it. He goes, that's correct, because that's knowledge stays with you. are you ready to go? I said, yes, sensei. And that's when he said, okay. He took the check. He showed me he was going to be putting it in his drawer, handed me the gi, showed me how to tie the knot, and said, all right, come on out and learn. And I was 12 years old. I started learning integrity, honesty, discipline, how to control my emotions, so not to be a fucking rage beast, because I was beating up bullies. So I'd see someone bullying somebody, and then I just tackle the bully and beat the crap out of him. And then I get in trouble, and I look like the bully because I'm beating up this kid who's now crying and snotzing and bleeding. And they didn't see he was beating up. He was beating up a first grader. He's a fifth grader. They didn't like that. So I was like, yeah, right, that kind of crap. So here I am in like sixth grade. Finally, this is catching up to me. Bam. They tell me they're going to kick me out of school. My mom takes me to the dojo, and that's when it starts me on my east-west philosophy, that yin-yang. I see looking for that light, dark. As you mentioned before, the juxtaposition of the light and the dark wood in the Bible box you built, reflecting the struggle between good and evil. And that's exactly the same thing. I look for the yin yang everywhere. We're always in a constant struggle with ourselves, because our default setting is bad. Our default setting is evil and fallen and spiteful and lustful, and it's all those things. And we have to work to be good. That's why the Ten Commandments is written as "Thou shalt not." And so we have to work at it. So, but dude, it's been a great conversation with you, man. I do appreciate you coming out. We're going to be wrapping the show here in a couple of minutes. And I wanted to say bless everybody for coming out tonight. Russ coming and keeping the comedy strong in the chat as well. And and Astro saying he likes to do Tai Chi. Yeah, that's actually Chinese for gathering power. And I did the Chuan family style of Tai Chi. I know the first 33 forms of that. Really cool. But thank you for coming out, Astro. Of course, thank you, Mr. Roos Hanemin and Kinesi and everyone else that came in tonight. Mama Bear and Newt and Arabate. Thank you all for coming in. And of course, a special thanks to Wood Geek for taking time out of his day, coming in after working OT. I appreciate you coming in after working and coming out and chatting with my crazy ass. It's a good conversation, man. And I learned so much more about you. The audience learned more about you. You're an extremely interesting fella, much more than just a fella that talks on the headset with the boom mic. He's much more interesting than that. More than just woodworking in this guy's past. So I'm going to go and wrap the stream with that. We can hang out for just a few more minutes after the show, and then we'll wind down. But if you guys have any questions for us, please. So where can they find you?
You can find me on Rumble or Pilled as Wood Geek. On X, I'm at Real Wood Geek. I think on Discord, I'm Real Wood Geek as well.
So reach out to him. He's a member of my Discord. So you guys come on over, say hello, find him on Discord. That link is always going to be dropped in the chat at least once while we're streaming. I want to say good night and God bless to all of y'all. I will see you guys again Thursday Thunderdome, where it's all music. Come and hang out, and your Rumble Rants gets you requests. So come out and blow out them speakers. We go for at least 3 hours on that one. Thank you for coming out for this Taco Tuesday. We had some Tony Baker, and then we had some Wood Geek. We did some wood shop. We talked God a little bit, and we also talked about some homesteading and learned a lot more about each other. So thank you, brother, for coming out. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yep. Take care, y'all.
The club where shadows play, where the Reaper horde steps in the fray. Kang's the name, I run this game. Laughs and truth, they're one and the same. Red pills will flow like rivers tonight. Comedy cut sharp while we ignite. Games and beats, the room will shake. You came for the truth, now stay wide awake. With riddles but realer than real, breaking down walls that they try to conceal. Fists in the air, let it all roar. This is the fight you've been waiting for. Red pills will flow like rivers tonight. Comedy cut sharp while we ignite. Games and beats, the room will shake. You came for the truth, now stay. Music booms, the horde aligns. Question it all, we're breaking confines. Laughter and heat, on this we thrive. In this fight club, we all come alive. hides in the mic in my hand. Truth is our weapon, we make a stand. Leave your mask, bring your soul. This is the place where you lose control.